Hey, what's up everybody? My name is Dylan and welcome to Woodbrew. Today we are going to be building some under your workbench pipe clamp storage. Now this is some of the most unusable space right here in my shop, so I figured it's the perfect spot to store my clamps. So let's get started. The very first measurement we're going to need is in between these two posts here. That looks like it's going to be 43.5 inches for me. We're now going to cut two sections of 2x4 at those measurements. So once those two boards are cut, we're going to use our marking gauge and we're going to go ahead and mark a line directly down the center of our 2x4. If you guys would like to see how I made this brass and aluminum marking gauge, you can click the link below, or you can click the little annotation on the screen right now and it'll take you directly to a video of how I made this. Now let's get back to the build. The next step is to measure over 3.5 inches and make a mark, and this mark is telling us where the opening begins. If that doesn't make sense now, it definitely will later. Once we have that mark, we're going to come to that mark and we're going to make measurements every 2.5 inches down. That 2.5 inches leaves us enough wiggle room for each clamp to go in, and we will be drilling holes next at these marks. So let's do it. Now those lines didn't match up perfectly, meaning the last one is a little shy of 2.5 inches, but that's not going to be a problem. We're just going to go with it from there. We now need to head over to the drill press and drill a series of 1.25 inch holes all the way down the length of the board at each one of our marks. Next step is to cut our 2x4 directly in half. So move your fence to where it cuts in the dead center of our 2x4. Well guys, that is it for building it. Now the install couldn't be any easier. After countersinking a few holes, all we have to do in this case is slip it up in between the two legs and secure it into place. This middle piece is slightly more tricky, but it just goes in between these two boards here. This one just gets secured from the outside. So we're going to add one more of these towards the middle just to support these shorter clamps, and to do that we are going to add some of these shorter blocks that are just the same dimensions as the other one, and those will drop down from the side of the table and connect into our rails. Now we are going to go ahead and pre-fasten those on and then attach it to the table. Guys, and that is it. I'm so thrilled with the way this came out. I've already completely filled it up, as you can see. It works extremely well. These slide out very easily, go in just as well. Now another cool thing to note is that They worked equally as well for these F-style clamps like the Harbor Freight clamps, as well as the Bessie clamps. So this is a very versatile rack that can be used with all kinds of clamps. Now the two things I would change, and one of which I already have, is I actually took out the third rack piece in the back. It was just too much to line up, and the second one actually held all of these just fine. So I took that out, and the only other thing I would do is I would drop this thing down just a little bit and then suspend it from the side so that it was a little bit further underneath the workbench, just so these don't stick out as far. Now that's not a problem for me because I don't really use this end of the workbench, but if you use the end of your workbench, you probably should do that. I think it would save you a couple hip busters. But yeah, I'm so thrilled with the way this turned out. Like I said, I've already filled it up. I have more clamps, so my plan is once I build my Woodbrew bench and the end vise is off of this bench, I will do the same thing on the opposite side and just run some more running this way. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and comment down below telling me if you like this style of video or if you like my other styles of videos better. What's kind of your preference? I'm kind of playing around with different styles right now, and I just would like some feedback from that. Thank you very much, guys. Don't forget that the t-shirt pre-sale was extended, and that goes through this Sunday, and you'll be able to get a shirt for $15 shipped anywhere in the United States. So go check that out while you can. It's woodbrew.net. The link will be in the description below. Thanks, guys.